My family and I always go to Colorado for a skiing vacation every spring break. At the time, I was about 12. It was the year 2008. To give you an image, I'm about 5 feet tall, with blonde wavy hair, blue eyes, and skinny. Always wear my hair in a braid. My sister, 10 at the time, has strawberry blonde straight hair with green eyes, and she's skinny too. Sometimes when we go to Colorado, we go with some family friends. This year, we went with our family friends, mom, dad, and 2 girls. The 2 girls are named Allie and Kay. Kay is the same age as me, and Allie is the same age as my sister. Both of them are skinny with blonde hair and brown eyes. R.I.P. to the mom. Anyway, whenever we go to Colorado, the dads and the girls go skiing while the moms go shopping or hiking. This day, the moms stayed home to make dinner for when we all got back. We got back a little early, so my sister Allie Kay and I decided to go exploring behind the house since it'll take a while for dinner to be ready. To give a little backstory, Allie and Kay's family just got the house and we were visiting. They've always wanted to go explore behind the house because there's a fence with a sign that says, "No trespassing." Back to the story. We go out and tell our parents that we'll be back soon. We get to the fence and jump it. We're walking on this little trail that looks like it's been walked on before. We're in the snow. Eventually, we come across a place that looks like someone has been camping there. We all exchange weird looks for each other. There were 2 tents and 2 big lunch boxes. I open the lunch box and we all see there are about 100 or more flattened beer cans in there. We all look in one tent and it's empty except for another big lunchbox or cooler. While it's snowing? Weird. Allie and Caitlin go to a tree where there's another lunchbox and start looking around. Kay and I go to the other tent, and this is how the convo went. Kay, you open it. Me, no haha, I'm not going to open it, you do. At this point, we all had a bad feeling. It's one of those things you can just feel bad energy or that there was something bad about this place. Kay, will you open it if I grab a stick? Me, yeah, I guess I'll do that. Kay grabs a branch off the ground and hands it over me. You do it. Kay rolls her eyes and starts to reach out to the tent. Allie, guys! Caitlin, look! I looked over to them and they found a small piece of yellow caution tape that said something like crime scene. While I'm still looking at them, Kay screams and I look back and I see that she opened the tent and there's a body inside. We all start running as fast as we can. I still remember Kay in the front, then Allie, and then me and my little sister. And of course, Caitlin falls and I run back to help her up, and we keep running until we get back to the house. We ran inside and told our parents everything that happened. They started laughing. They thought we were joking, and I tried to tell them that it was real, and they started shaking their head and telling us to go play and just to stay inside. To this day, I wonder about it sometimes. And it's been 11 years. So the year is 2016, I think, and I think it was September. My family, my parents, the family dog, and yours truly, went to France for a vacation. My mother had picked a nice-looking holiday home close to the French city of Aubernay. So we arrived there and the landlady greeted us. Communication was a little odd, since she was French and my parents speak very little French or English, and I couldn't speak English too well either as I was 12 back then. Both I and my parents remember how she kind of nervously explained to us that we had to activate the alarm system every night and lock the doors leading to the lounge and winter garden with a large metal shutter that, at least to 12-year-old me, reminded me more of blast doors. Another thing that struck my parents and me as odd was that we weren't shown all of the house. So with my dad and I being curious, we tried to look around some more and found some odd things. There were 2 upstairs bedrooms and 1 on ground level. The bedroom on ground level was normal, apart from the window not closing properly, but the upstairs bedrooms were kinda odd. One of them had 5 or 6 beds, of which none of them faced each other. We shrugged it off as the beds being arranged in odd ways. The second bedroom had a very large bed and a second door standing to the left of the bed. The door was locked and we weren't given a key for it. A similar door was across the upstairs hallway next to the bathroom. It led to a small balcony, which also led to another door that obviously couldn't be accessed either. The creepiest part, though, was the basement. So we weren't shown the basement by the landlady, but the key fit me and my dad went down there out of curiosity. It was a stairway that led into an L or Z-shaped basement. It was pretty normal at first, but the end was concerning. The last part of it was tiled and had a very amateur mosaic of a red figure with black hair, which seemed like a woman to me and my dad. My dad also claimed there were what looked like meat hooks in the walls when talking about him. So for some reason, we stayed there for the week, and some odd things happened. First of all, we all had a pretty scary feeling when it got dark, which in a house that throws so many red flags at you is kind of normal. Secondly, I am like 80% sure I heard some noises coming from that locked door in the upstairs bedroom, like a creaking of some old floorboards. I also felt pretty watched and a little depressed, which is odd for a vacation. Feeling like that could be normal though, since I tend to have paranoia from time to time, so maybe that was a paranoia showing rather early in my life due to the circumstances. Lastly, and this was the most scary thing that happened, our dog, an English Labrador Retriever, who was usually the most chilled creature on earth, had what boils down to the dog version of a panic attack in the middle of the night. I was in another bedroom, so this relies fully on the accounts of my parents. So basically, our dog started to wail and seemed extremely scared in the middle of the night, waking up my parents. He seemed terrified and kept howling and wailing for around 2 hours, refusing to go back to sleep before finally coming down. I can confirm that this dog never reacted to anything like that. No fear of fireworks, no fear of water, no fear of loud noises, nothing. We stayed there the whole week, but were glad when we left. I can elaborate on some things if you'd like to know more, but this is everything I think is important right now. I still dream of the house till today, and I feel shivers running down my spine when thinking about it. If anyone finds something that might be the house or has information that could help find it again, please drop me a comment since my parents don't know the exact address anymore, and I was too young to remember properly. I can draw up a floor plan and general recreation of the mosaic if this could help anyone. I was vacationing in Wales one weekend with a man who was my fiancé at the time of this story. We were staying at one of the older hotels along the beach, and since they were almost full, we checked into a room with 2 single beds and a shared bathtub. Our room faced the sea and had large windows that were wide open during the night, the sheer curtains billowing as the sea breeze blew into the room. Each bed was covered with several blankets, as well as a quilt and coverlet tucked under the mattress. So when you were in bed, you were tucked in snug and warm from the night air. I remember feeling tired from a long but lovely day at the beach, sunning and swimming. After dinner, my fiancé and I went to our room. Then we both fell into a deep sleep. I woke up during the night and had this unsettling feeling. Not quite sure why. The room was quiet except for the drip from the faucet on the small sink in the room. I looked around the room and could see the curtains moving from the wind. The room was dimly lit as the moon was casting some light into the room. I looked over at my fiancé in the other single bed, who was soundly still asleep. Suddenly, that sensation people describe as frozen with or paralyzed with fear came over me. I also could not utter a sound. I struggled to get my breath as I saw the white, filmy figure of a woman emerge and approach my bed. I knew my fiancé was next to me only a few feet away. I knew I was awake and not dreaming, as every detail of the room was lit by the moonlight. I knew I just needed to scream, and my fiancé would hear, but I couldn't get out a sound. I held onto the covers under my chin for dear life as the filmy white figure seemingly floated to the bottom of the bed, and I could feel the covers being pulled from the bottom of the bed and out from under the mattress. I felt I knew she or it wanted to hurt me, to smother me, but I still couldn't get a sound out. Finally, a small sound escaped from my throat, and I kept gasping and trying to scream till enough came out that my fiancé heard me and jumped out of bed and rushed over to my side. The filmy figure disappeared, but I was shaking and crying from fright. My fiancé said that it was just a bad dream, and I almost believed him till I saw all the covers from my bed lying in a heap at the bottom of the bed, lying on top of them. It is impossible to pull them out from under the mattress beneath you while they are tucked under it. We have tried over and over again, even though it was a small single bed for the 2 of us. I slept in the same bed as my fiancé the rest of the night. The next day, we were at breakfast with the other guests and hotel staff when I told my story about the previous night. Most everyone who heard it believed it happened, and they said the hotel was haunted and the scene of a great fire that broke out at the turn of the century. Someone said, maybe the filmy white spectral may have pulled the covers from your bed because she thought your bed or you were on fire. Maybe. To this day, all I know is I know what I saw and how it felt, and I know I was in the presence of something unearthly.